So we've got a huge amount to cover. Our first just under an hour is going to be anatomy and physiology, and we're going to take a brief look. We're going to fly through the abdomen, the pelvis, including pelvic floor muscles, the viscera, the fascia, and the pudendal nerve. That's going to lead us into a new tissue called the interstitium, which we'll get to. We're then going to start breaking down the autonomic nervous system, the vagus nerve, and the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis from a physiological perspective. And we're going to finish that little section with the gut microbiome. We're then going to do a little bit on adverse childhood experiences and post-traumatic stress disorder and endometriosis before we break for tea. And then after tea, we're going to look at populations, some irritative bladder stuff, the pain, constipation, and general chronic pelvic pain. We'll look at what life events are likely to come together with these events, these experiences. When will a young woman experience pelvic pain with sex? Well, maybe if she's just got married and she was a virgin. So we'll look at what life events we need to look out for in our patients. And of course, we're going to discuss comorbid pathology impacting on pelvic function, everything from diet and obesity, which will already have done a fair bit on inflammation. And as always, we have to be culturally, religiously, and psycho-emotively sensitive. So we will mention a few things at the end, and that's a lot. So let's have some fun. Let's look at our objectives. Quick looking at the urethra, the clitoris at the front, the urethra, the yellow hole at the front, the vagina. I've colored it in a little bit of black there, the square hole, or the anus over there. We've got both superficial muscles and we've also got deep muscles. Obviously, men and women are different. The males do not have a vagina. We do. There's many more differences other than the lack of a vagina, but I'm not going to go into that right now, too much detail. For those of us who are not well familiar, here's the urethra at the front, the vagina in the middle, and the anus at the back. Urethra, vagina, anus. Urethra, vagina, anus. And of course, these muscles, we're much more interested, as it were, not. These are very important because these are going to close off those openings and create a pressure closing off our holes. And if these muscles are overactive, if these muscles are too tight, they are responsible for posture and inhibition. So if we've got restriction or overactivity in these muscles, not only do we impact on bladder, bowel, and sexual function, but we also it influences the postures that we hold, which can result in chronic musculoskeletal pain, either low back pain, buttock pain, groin pain, etc. But they can also change the way our bladder and bowel function, thereby changing autonomic function. So there we can see that gap. And these muscles do not move up and into the body. They move in an anterior, they close and release. And it's most exaggerated. Tailbone tucked under is closed and tailbone out is open, but that's the most exaggerated. That's just looking at them in cross section. And for those of you who want to see where the various fascial lines are, we'll come back to